Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Angry Dave podcast. I am Dave. My next guest is my friend Frank. We're going to call him Frankie Fenders. I think we'll figure that out why I call him Frankie Fenders in a little bit. But Frank, introduce yourself.
Well, how you doing? I'm Frank. I'm from South Philly. Knew Dave for a long time, very long time.
Yeah, Frank, I don't know that I ever remember not knowing you.
Yeah, I mean, because we grew up, what, half a block away from each other, if that.
Yeah, so my grandmother lived on Marshall Street in South Philly, 2500 block of South Marshall Street. And Frank grew up a half a block away on the 2600 block of South Marshall Street.
Yeah,
Him, his brother, and his mother. You were what? What year were you born?
77.
So you are a year younger than me.
Yes,
So let's talk about the beginning. You born in March of '77. Were you born in South Philly?
yes. I think I was born in Methodist,
Methodist Hospital?
either Methodist or St. Agnes, I'm
Y-
not sure.
Yeah. And you have one older brother.
Yeah, oh yeah. I actually have four brothers.
Oh, really?
Yes, my dad had one before me, and then he had me, and then he had another two. So he's not my full brother. He's a
Right.
half brother. So
But Anthony is the brother that you grew up with.
yes, Anthony's the crazy, psychotic brother I grew up with.
Yeah. So let's talk about growing up. It was your mom, you, and your one older brother, half
Yes,
brother, Anthony.
yes.
How much older is he than you?
He was five
Yeah.
years.
5 years. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
let's talk about that. How was it? What do you remember about it?
I don't remember a whole lot from when I was younger. I My memory is really faint from when I was younger, and from what I understand, he was a really good kid growing up
Yeah.
as a young kid.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you know this about me and my brother, but my father actually kidnapped us,
Oh boy.
took us to Wisconsin, and dropped us at an uncle's house that we had no idea who he was. So the only reason why I say it's kidnapped is because my brother was not his,
Right.
and he kind of just dropped us off with someone that we had no idea who he was.
Is this like your first memory?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how old were you when this happened?
I was about four and a half.
And your mom, how did your mom meet up with your dad?
Well, I think he was in the Navy, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah, he was in the Navy, and she met him, and they kind of like fell in love, which was kind of weird because, she was this little Italian lady, and he was a, a mixture of, I can't tell you what. I mean, he was native Indian, French Canadian,
Yeah.
German, like
Yeah.
it just two totally different backgrounds. And back then it was a little different. Like
Right.
people that they just didn't do that.
And just so people that don't know that aren't local, back in the '70s, there was a huge Navy base really very close to where we grew up.
Yeah. Yep.
So there was a lot of that happened. A lot of
Sure.
Navy people that hooked up with people from South Philly,
Yeah.
the natives.
Yes.
He shows up. He takes the two of you to Wisconsin, drops you off at a uncle's house that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that? They come and get you? What happened?
Well, that it was a long, drawn out 6 months.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. So me and my brother, I don't remember a whole lot because I was like 4.5 years old.
Right.
He was 9.5, almost 10. So
Yeah.
he had a lot of memories. But
Right.
so my mom had to go through all these channels and courts and FBI, and she did it right. She got us back the right way. Actually, she got us back on Thanksgiving Eve. So we always celebrated Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah.
When Anthony came back, he became a different person. So
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to us when we were out there,
Yeah.
but it severely messed him up.
Changed.
Yeah, my mom said he was such a good kid when he was younger,
Yeah.
and then after that, he would hide in drop ceiling. He would just go hide in the basement. He was very almost sadistic. It was a shame.
Yeah. Tell me about you, like as a middle schooler. What were you like?
I think I have like that ADHD or ADD
Yeah.
where when I'm in school, I can't concentrate. I did my thing. I wasn't a bad student.
Yeah.
As I started to get older, I started getting bad. I
Right.
think I was like trying to follow my brother's footsteps. And he was the only male figure that I had in my life, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like him. I thought that that's the way it was. You were supposed to be,
Yeah.
and
When did it start turning a little crazy for you?
Probably eighth grade.
Okay.
So
Talk about what you were like then and what was going on.
it's just, hustling, trying to do anything I can to make some money. My mom, she worked her two jobs, and
Yeah.
she had a crazy son who was in and out of fucking prison. And
Yeah.
it's not really prison at that age, but he's being locked up. He's going to these schools that are kids stay at the school for months at a time. He comes back, he visits.
Yeah.
So I started like turning bad, like cutting school and not going to school and getting into fights and stupid shit. And I wanted to be on the corner. I wanted to be hanging out doing the stupid shit. Things that I thought were cool and fun and right.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's all you really saw, right?
Yeah, I mean, you grew up there.
Yeah. Talk about high school. What was going on in high school? Same kind of stuff.
Well, there wasn't much high school. There
Yeah.
wasn't much high school. So I actually failed eighth grade,
Oh, wow.
just not showing up to school. And shout out to the city of Philadelphia who didn't look for me for truancy. I don't know how I got away with it. It
Yeah.
was like I was invisible,
Right.
So I failed eighth grade, and I'll never forget this teacher, Mr. Sally. He was our math teacher, and he said, "I'm going to give you a little heads up. You can't be failed twice in eighth grade." That was like a nod to me. You don't really have to do anything the second time around.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I failed. I went back. I probably would have failed again because I slept through almost every class.
Yeah.
Barely went to school. Then high school rolled around. I went to South Philly High,
Yeah.
Southern. That school was just fucking crazy. I'll never forget, like the first month and a half I was there, I was cutting school too. I was going to a couple classes, like selling my green leafy substance,
Yeah.
as Motown Mike would say.
Yeah.
I was just doing my thing, and I was still going, but then somebody got shot in the lunchroom.
Wow.
So with a 38, I'll never forget. And then like a month and a half later, somebody brings in a sawed-off shotgun, shoots the gun out. Nobody got shot with it, but it's just a point that you're going to a school, you're supposed to be safe. You're walking in, and all these kids got guns and this and that. And it kind of like, I started to drift away. I just
Yeah.
didn't really want to be there,
Right.
but I didn't want to be there from the beginning. That was just an excuse for me,
Right.
And
Right.
then my mom, she took a heart attack,
Oh, boy.
and I had to start making money. I had become the man of the house at like 15.
How old was she when she took her first heart attack?
Well, so I was 15, so she was 45.
Wow.
Yeah, because she had 30 years on me. So I was 15, she was 45, and oh, that's a story. I could give you that story with Anthony.
Yeah, tell me.
So she's having a heart attack. She comes down the steps, South Philly steps. And she comes halfway down. Aunt, I think I'm having a heart attack. He's sitting there smoking a blunt. He's drinking a beer. And he's like, "You just want attention. Go back up to your room."
Oh, my God.
And my mom, she didn't take the shit.
Yeah.
But he did that, and she went back up. And this was before cell phones. This was beeper time. And
Yeah.
so somebody got a hold of me. They told me, "Yo, your mom's, she thinks she's having a heart attack." I'm like, "Well, why the fuck ain't she calling an ambulance? I mean, why is she looking for me? Call an ambulance. I'm coming home now." But she
Right.
should already be at the hospital.
Right.
So I wound up getting her, taking her to the hospital, and she had a pretty bad heart attack. So she told me in the hospital, "Should I want Anthony out of the house?" I said, "Well, give him a couple of days so he could try to get his bearings together."
Yeah.
And at the time, I was saving some money up, to buy whether it was a car or motorcycle, and so I gave him some money, do whatever he had to do, go get an apartment. Him, he was selling drugs, so his first thing was to go buy coke and fucking sell coke,
Yeah.
to get more money. But
Yeah.
either way, I gave him like $300, and I'm a kid at this time,
You're 15, he's like 20?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's got 5 years on.
Yeah.
I said, "Look, mommy wants you out. She's coming home Monday. You got to be out." So he said, "All right, no problem." Well, here they wound up keeping her to do open heart surgery. They decided they were going to do open heart surgery on her.
Yeah.
Well, that morning I was getting ready to go off to see my mother before she goes in for open heart surgery. He had no plans on being there, and he sends his friend in to my house at like 7 o'clock in the morning. A guy who had a motorcycle for sale. He was trying to see if I wanted to buy it. I'm like, "Dude." I'm getting ready to go see my mom have open heart surgery. Like, I'm not trying to talk about this right now.
Right.
Well, while I'm getting ready, he unlocks the kitchen window. He goes back to my brother. I guess they had it planned the fuck out.
Yeah.
He breaks in through the house while I'm up at the hospital waiting for my mom. He fucking robs all my money, and
Jesus.
the best part is he came and paid me with some of my own money that same day. I was going nuts. I ripped the house apart, like looking for my money because I knew I hid it somewhere, but
Yeah. You thought, and then you thought you lost
I
it.
thought I lost it.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker comes to my house and he's got like $100 for me, and three of the bills look like it came out of my wallet because the way the wallet was shaped and all,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and two of the bills were all wrinkled up. Well, yeah, he robbed me while my mom was getting open heart surgery.
Oh man.
So,
Yeah. There's a lot of stories like that, man.
oh yeah, there's probably I could go on all fuck. This could be a whole nother podcast
Yeah. Just story.
just of Anthony.
Just talk about that relationship with him. I mean, was it ever good?
No,
Yeah.
and people say, "Oh, it's your brother," and I get it. Yeah, I love him. I
Yeah.
do. I love him, but at the same time, man, how could you love something that hates you so much?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And he said he loved me, but I don't even remember having a real fucking conversation with this dude.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. Like
Yeah.
everything was always negative with him.
Yeah.
I always had to worry about him fucking robbing me, stabbing me. He tried to stab me 3 times.
Yeah.
Just crazy shit, man.
Crazy.
Yeah,
And
and
treating your mom like shit too, right?
yeah, he treated my mom like shit, and she was the type didn't take no shit, but at the same time, she had me begging her to let him back in the house, and
Yeah.
you know,
It's her son. Yeah.
yeah, and it was my brother. I looked
Yeah.
up to him, was my father figure. So, like, I guess you basically the only man in my life.
Yeah. Talk to me about your relationship with your mom.
I loved my mom ungodly. When I lost her, I was devastated for 2 years. I was fucked up.
Yeah.
Mentally went through some shit. Thank God I had my son, and
Yeah.
thank God I had the support of certain people around me. My wife Jamie, Jamie.
Yeah.
It was hard, but I had such a great, strong relationship with my mother, and yeah, I was a mama's boy,
Yeah.
but I was also the man of the house too. It was like weird. It was
Yeah.
like I was a mama's boy, but at the same time, I was calling the shots. She let me make my own decisions. She seen that I had to grow up fast, and
Yeah.
she just told me. She said, "Look, I'm always going to give you my advice, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
Whether you think it's right or wrong, I'm going to tell you if you're going to get in trouble, this is the consequences. If you get away with it,
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen." She was my definitely my protector as a kid.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, she was 4'11",
Yeah.
but
She was a spitfire though, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she was like, and that's where I get it from. She's either on or off. There's no in between with her, and
Yeah.
that's kind of how I grew into.
Yeah. 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 But she was loyal. And she was great to the other kids in the neighborhood always.
She loved everybody. She loved all you guys.
Yeah.
She did.
So, any like really good memories from that time, from childhood, middle school, high school?
I do. I
Let's
do.
talk about that.
And yeah. So I'm not. This is the one that always stuck in my head. It was my mom. I was in school and she picked me up, I don't know, around 1 o'clock. I'm so used to bad stuff happening. So I'm like, what the fuck is she picking me up for? Like, it was weird. So we're walking down the steps at Taggart, and she told me she won $10,000
Yeah.
through the church. It was like a raffle. She gave me $500. She took me on a fucking shopping spree to Toys R Us, man. And
Awesome.
and for me, like considering I got all my toys and stuff from the thrift store on fucking 9th Street
Yeah.
or 8th and whatever it was.
Yeah. Right.
That was like a big thing for me. Like $500 as a kid back in the fucking 80s. That's like
Yeah.
today's day. It's probably 2,000, $2,500.
Right. Yeah. It was a big deal,
Yeah, it
right?
was
Yeah.
yeah. So I know it's only money, but to see my mom come pick me up from school because she was so excited to do this for me,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it was just a memorable experience. And I'm not the type. Listen, I remember Christmases, but I don't remember them for the toys and the stuff under the tree. I remember them for watching the movies with her and
Yeah.
decorating and stuff like that. That's what I remember Christmas for. So it's not really about the money. It was just that she was able to do it for me, and she did.
And so much. She had so much joy in doing it.
Oh yeah, my mom was a giver, man. She just was. She always was.
How about like in high school? So that was like a middle school experience. How about like
Yeah,
a really positive high school experience?
high school. I'll be honest with you. I don't have too many. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. You're struggling. You're trying to make
Yeah,
doing what you got to do to
buying and selling whatever I could. I was
yeah
just hustling, whatever it was. I just,
yeah.
whether it was car stereo, anything.
14, 15 years old. You're a man.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Yeah, yeah,
much. Paying bills.
yeah.
I started selling that like fruit. I started working with this guy. He was giving me, fruit and vegetables to take home for my mom, but he was paying me $50 for a fucking 12-hour day. It was rough.
Yeah.
And then I started working Kmart, and after Kmart, I forget where I went. I was with Kmart for a long time though. I moved up pretty fast in there.
Yeah, and then you didn't finish high school.
I did not, but I did go get back and get my GED when I was in working at Kmart.
Talk to me about your experience growing up in that neighborhood. How would you describe it to people?
Well, a lot of fucking craziness, backstabbing, from what I remember. I was nervous because everybody kind of liked but hated my brother,
Yeah,
and I felt like I was living in his shadow my whole life. And
yeah,
a lot of people did not like him. So I felt like a lot of like anger and hatred towards me, or maybe it was just my brain like just thinking that, but I
right.
felt like people didn't like me because of him.
Yeah,
So I tried so hard to just be the cool guy, the guy, do anything for anybody. I don't know.
I never had a negative experience directly with your brother. I mean, I seen him do a lot of crazy shit. Like, you remember the time he was on the roof and he was ready to jump off the roof? You remember that?
I do.
Just I know you know a lot of crazy shit, but so
Yeah.
I was like afraid of him, like
Yeah.
afraid to be around him and like some of the really older guys, like I don't want to mention their names, but
Yeah.
that he used to hang out with. But I always remembered you just as a nice kid. So I don't think I think it was probably more the
Okay.
perception,
Yeah.
because I don't, I think people felt bad for you to be honest with you.
Well,
Because I remember also times where he just would be really shitty to you in front of people.
yeah. Yeah. You
And
told me about an experience that
yeah.
we could talk about that because that was just it'll enlighten people on how he was.
So I used to hang out on that corner with the older kids. And Frankie wanted to be around his brother, right? I mean, just like he told you, it was his father figure. He wanted to be one of the guys. And his brother was just mean to him. I mean, he just was. And the one day, go slap my brother around and tell him to go home. And I slapped him across the face, and he went home. And he went home. And it didn't. I don't even think he was hurt. He was just dejected.
Yeah.
And I told Frank years later. I don't even know if he remembered it, but I told him years later how it still sits with me that I was a bully that day, and I felt horrible about it because I was trying to be fit in and trying to be with the big kids, and that was my way to doing it. They used to do that to me a lot, right, with a lot of kids. Like I beat up the fucking shoe shine kid one time because he would walk around, he would go to the subway, and he would go downtown and polish shoes and make some money.
Yeah.
And they used to, when he would walk by, they used to make me beat him up. I like 2 or 3 times I did it, and
Yeah.
I feel awful about that. There was a couple other because I was the little guy, and apparently,
Yeah.
it
You
was
feel like the little people.
right. I was the little guy, and apparently that made them tougher because I could beat people up that were older. I don't fucking know, but that's the way it was. I mean, it was a rough neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but that's the kind of shit that he had to deal with. Is just his brother just not.
Yeah, the person you think's going to be there for you and protect you,
Yeah,
but it's all right because I got my
yeah,
because he used to fuck me up. He used to really beat me the fuck up. I mean, bad. He was like the drunk father in the family. Even though he wasn't my dad, he was like the drunk father. He'd come
yeah.
home all coked the fuck up, and he'd have a couple beers in him and forget about it. It was he fucked me up, and it was more. It wasn't more of a like a picking on type. It was more of the hatred. And that's what made me so fucking scared. And I seen him stab people, like fucked up shit. And I just thought, man, I better not fuck with this dude because I've seen him do shit.
Yeah, he was crazy. I mean, there's no question.
Yeah.
There was mental illness, right?
Oh, 100%. It wasn't fake. It was real.
Yeah,
And, there was no help for him.
yeah.
He had help, but
He wouldn't take it.
he would not take it. So he
Yeah.
was one of the bad apples that just rotted.
So you mentioned your wife Jamie. So everybody's connected here. Stevie Bananas is my best friend.
Yeah.
That is Steve's sister. So
Yes.
they live down
My
around the
brother.
corner. That's his brother-in-law, and that's how we're all connected here.
Yeah.
When did you get with Jamie? When was that?
I was 18. I
Okay.
was 18. She was 16. We've been together ever since. 95, we hooked up.
So what's going on in that 18 to like early 20s? What are you doing at that time?
Well, I'm working and hustling, doing the side street bullshit,
Yeah. Yeah.
making really good money, but blowing it too. Just going through money like it was fucking nothing. And,
Yeah.
just stupid shit. Buying real expensive clothes that you fucking wear, you throw them out. Like,
Yeah.
just stupid shit. Going out to dinner fucking three, four, five times a week and, going down the shore, going to Florida, just doing all the stupid shit. Instead of saving my money, I fucking blew it.
Yeah. When did you guys get married? How old were you?
I was 28. Yeah, because it was almost 10 years to the day that we started dating that we got married. It was one day off.
I know it turned for you. When was that? You have a time period?
As turning as what? What do you mean?
Just like where you decide to stop hustling, you're a family man.
Yeah. So because all the shit that I went through, I was very, very cautious on everything that I did,
Yeah.
which kept me out of jail, I think. So as my son was born, Chesco, my first son, and being nervous and I started having panic attacks and stuff like that, and knowing that I got all these responsibilities and knowing that I got my kid that I have to take care of. I want to be here for him, and
Yeah.
it was hard to make that transition, but the panic attacks and just knowing that my family's looking to me to make sure I'm there and supportive and to be a father.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, this is where I have to make the choice. And you choose family. You either choose family or you don't. And I was the one that chose family, even though I didn't have a lot of guidance with that. I
Yeah.
mean, my mom was always there for me, but I'm saying like as a father figure,
Right.
I never wanted to be that absent father
Right.
or husband.
Right. And Chesko came, he is how old?
He is 16. Well, he'll be 16 in about a couple
And
weeks.
you have three other kids, right?
Two other,
Two other, that's what I meant. Yeah,
unless
two.
there's one I don't know about.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
So two other kids, I'm sorry.
Yes. So I have Nico and Ari.
And they
And
are how old?
so Nico is 9, Arya is 5.
Tell me about raising a family. How's it feel?
It's hard,
Yeah.
just because I don't ever want to let them down.
Yeah.
That's just because I felt like I was always let down,
Yeah.
and I don't want to ever be that disappointing father that was either just a paycheck or just always fucking ramming and yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
And I kind of come to realize that that's what a father does.
Let me talk to me about that. What do you mean?
Like a father is a provider,
Yeah.
just like the mother is, the warmth and the hugs and trust me, I hug and kiss my kids and
Yeah.
tell them how
Yeah.
much I love. I do it all, but at the same time, that's why I feel like you need a mom and a dad in a relationship. You
Right.
need you need both. You need to balance it out.
Right.
So when she's yelling and screaming, I'm hugging them and telling them, listen, you just got to listen to mom. You got to do the right things,
Right.
and then vice versa. But
Right.
I work hard. It's my job. It's my job to go to work and really, hustle, do what I got to do to make that money. I turned my hustle from the streets to doing body work.
The body work, right? So
Yes,
that's where I come up with the fenders.
yeah, that's where I would figure we're leading to.
Yeah. So talk to me about that. When did you get into doing that kind of stuff?
Uh,
The body work.
it's over 25 years.
Yeah.
So I started in South Philly, a little shop. I guess I no names,
Yeah.
and they groomed me. I started out detailing and I was detailing probably about 5 years, but at the same time I was detailing, I was pretty much running the shop for my boss. When he wasn't there, I was doing everything else, writing estimates, talking to customers, ordering parts. And then the owner of the shop, they were business partners. He said, you got to let this kid step up. You're holding him back because he does such a good job doing what he's doing. But
Right.
you got to let him grow.
Yeah.
So I did. I started to do some body work, and then I started doing heavier body work.
Yeah.
And now here I am.
How many of my cars have you done over the years?
Oh my God.
Let,
Well,
let's let's talk about what you think of me as a car owner.
oh, you're you're great for the body shop, but horrible as a driver. I'm sure, it's a little influenced.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So, how about any relationship with your dad at all? Your biological father?
very little one.
Yeah.
Very, very little. So I guess as I got older, I just wanted to know where I came from, who this male was that, injected my mom,
Right.
because that's all he did
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see where what my roots were.
Right.
And so I found them, but
Right.
we found like five numbers. I called four of them before I reached him. And yeah, he said he was in South Philly at the time, and he does have a son, and here it was him. So this was right before my mom died,
Yeah.
which you know she always told me, "Oh, if you ever want to find him, go find him." I would be totally on board with it. And then when I did, it was kind of like I let her down
Yeah.
because I kind of invited him to our wedding,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
remember.
yeah, and then she died right like 6 months before my wedding,
Yeah.
and fuck, the person who was there my whole life missed my wedding, but my fucking dad, who ran out when I was 4 or 5 years old, he's at my wedding. It was just fucking weird, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do, right?
And then you said you have other siblings, right?
I do. He
Did,
has
yeah.
he
Yeah.
so he had an older son, which is the oldest of all of us, you and Anthony. So his name's Jim, and he's a really cool dude. He's a good guy. I actually spent some time with him. He actually did a bike marathon up in, I don't know what they're called, but he did a bike marathon up in New York, and on his way to go home, he stopped at our house for like about 5 6 hours, had dinner. He spent some time with me and my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. He got a family, good stuff.
Yeah.
And then my two younger brothers, which is my dad, he's still with his wife, and he became a dad for them.
Yeah.
I actually went out to Wisconsin. I visited him, and his wife is just a really nice woman. And my brothers, they seemed like they were really good kids. He had a really good life going on. And I
Yeah.
was really happy. He had a nice house. He had a really good, steady job.
Right.
And, it made me feel proud. But then at the same time, it was like, where the fuck were you when I needed you?
Yeah. What about me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, but I was glad he did good for them,
Right.
for my two younger brothers.
Not
So,
he didn't do good for your older brother either.
no, no, he did the same thing with them, with him. You know, he just up and left him,
Yeah.
up, pretty much up and left us.
I mean, I, I think I know this answer. I think probably everybody who's probably listening to this podcast already knows the answer, but that feeling of not having somebody around has informed the way you treat your kids.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I mean, that was always my biggest fear, is not being a good dad.
Yeah.
At one point, I didn't even want kids, just because I guess maybe because I didn't know how to be a dad. I didn't have that structure in my life. So,
Yeah.
how do I don't know, succeed in something that was never taught to me?
Right.
It's like giving somebody fucking calculus, say, here, do it.
So somebody that is in your situation, right, that didn't have a dad growing up, what would your best advice for them as a father to be? What would that be?
Be there. Be there for them. You have to be there. You have to listen. And what I did with my son, my oldest son, is I told him, I said, every day's a new struggle with me, with you. Meaning I never raised a 16-year-old. I
Right.
never raised a 16-year-old in one day. So every day it's a new experience for me. I didn't have, and that's like with every parent, but at the same time, I didn't have the experience from the other end to see a father, be stern and tell you, shit, like, get the fuck out of bed, go do something, go hustle some money, go do somebody's fucking lawn, do something,
Right.
So it's hard. It's hard being a parent. It comes with no instructions, no manual, nothing.
Yeah. So just be there, try your best.
Yeah, just try to be honest with them. Let them know you're going to be there so you can talk to them. I'm always here. You can always talk to me. What I tell my kids is, I'm here. You can talk to me at any time about anything. But if you fucking lie to me, that's what's going to get me mad.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. I'd rather you just be honest with me. Yo, Dad, I fucked up. I did this. I robbed the bank. I don't care what it is. Just come to me and say, look, I messed up. I need to talk to somebody. And I'm here, and I'm going to tell you, yo, you fucked up. Yeah, you fucked up, but at the same time, you got to do what's right. You can't do that stuff.
Right.
You got
Yeah.
to talk to them.
Yeah. All right. Catch us up.
Well, it's awesome. It's great. I love my family to death. It's harder to be 45 years old raising a 5-year old, and
Yeah.
she's a pistol,
Yeah.
but she's my heart. And but it's hard because the patience level is a lot lower, I guess, because I'm older, and it's hard to have patience anymore.
Right.
So and it's hard for my wife too.
Yeah. You're running zone defense these days, right? No, no man to man anymore.
No, yeah, just try to keep them within that area a little bit.
Herding bubbles.
Yes, yeah,
But they're now all in school, right? So that started this year.
yeah. Well, my daughter, she's like it's a daycare. It's a Catholic school.
Yeah.
It's structured like kindergarten, but it's not kindergarten. So she starts kindergarten next year.
Okay. So you're still doing body work in South
Yes,
Jersey now?
yes. I'm in South Jersey now doing body work, and I do really well. Considering that I was the path that I was on, and where it could have went. Listen, everybody I talked to, a lot of people said the road that I was going to go down was either dead or in jail.
Yeah.
I was that kid. So for a long time. So for me to be where I'm at with a family and kids, loving kids, good kids,
Yeah.
a great wife,
Yeah. Steady job.
steady job. Just I have 3, 4 jobs offered to me on a monthly basis. So it feels good to be wanted and know that I'm good at what I do and know that I can provide for my kids and my wife, and it's nice.
Yeah. Let's do the bookend with your brother. I mean, you talked about him in the past tense. So let's talk about what happened then.
Well, he was always messed up on. He was always an upper guy, speed, like coke. Then he got really bad and went to crack.
Yeah.
And but then the last few months that on Earth, he came to my shop that I was working at, and he told me he was doing heroin. I said, "What are you fucking? You're gonna like? He's got diabetes. He's really overweight, and now he's doing heroin." I said, "That's just it's going to kill you." And here, 6 months later, he was dead. I got this call from my wife. It was a beautiful day. It was like 75 degrees. Sun was shining. I picked my kids up from school, took them to a park, and I got a call from my wife. And no, actually, it was a call from a worker that I worked with, and she told me she needed my wife's phone number. So I'm like, what the fuck does she need my wife's number for? So I gave it to her without question because she sounded like she really needed it. My birthday was coming up, so I thought maybe they were, I don't know, doing something, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, my wife called me and asked me, she said, where you at? I said, I'm at the park with the kids. She said, I'm leaving work early. Well, all right, great. Oh, this is a fucking great day. Well, she's walking up, she's got tears rolling down her face, and she's like, Anthony died. And the crazy part is, I shed no tears whatsoever.
Yeah.
I kind of expected it. Like for my whole life, I played that scenario in my head a
Yeah.
hundred times. So it was kind of like a movie you've seen for the 50th time. It's like you know what happens. It's not a big deal.
Right.
And come to find out, he was in a halfway house. He went to, he was allowed to leave that day. He had some money in his pocket. He was all dressed real nice, real happy. And they found him up in Kensington. They robbed him. And he's fucking laying on the ground dead.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but that was his picture ending, I guess. That was like his final shebang.
Frank, any periods of like clarity for him at all?
There was. There
Yeah.
was. Actually, I don't know if it had to do with anything or what, but he wound up going down to Alabama to a school for ministry.
Yeah.
And he really became like he loved God. He was religious.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would call it religion because he was a born again Christian, but he went to school, college for, to become a minister. And, when he came back to Philly, he seemed like he was doing really good. He was always preaching. And as bad as it got on people's nerves, I'd
Yeah.
rather see him that way
Of course. Yeah.
than the way he was.
Yeah. Addicted to something positive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what it was. It seemed like it became an addiction because he was still doing fucked up shit from what I
Yeah.
found out.
Yeah.
He was fucking robbing the church, like just fucked up shit, robbing the church, like telling them to send him money. It's fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
Like his hustle never stopped, man.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about good things. Let's talk about next 5, 10 years. What's your plan?
Oh man. Well, my son, he'll probably be, it always comes down to family.
Yeah.
So he'll be like 21 at that point. Hopefully he'll either have a good career going or he'll be in college, one or the other. And for me, I'm gonna work till the day I die, probably. So it's okay. I'm happy with that. I accept it.
Yeah.
I'll probably be calling out on the day of my funeral. You know, oh, why can't you make it in? Well, I'm gonna be buried 6 feet deep. But anyway, yeah. So my kids will be a little older. My daughter, she'll be, I guess, going into high school.
Yeah. You're not retiring to Florida anytime soon?
I would have been retired in Florida 20 years ago when we bought the house in Jersey if it was up to me. That was always my goal. But
Yeah.
Jamie had a lot of family here, and
Yeah.
she didn't want to leave, and I understand that because I had really no ties.
Right.
I could have just up and left, and it really wouldn't matter to me.
Right.
As long as she came with me, I was fine. But that's where I wanted to go originally. I wanted to go down to Florida. When I sold my house in South Philly, I wanted to go down to Florida, and it didn't work out.
All right, let's talk about some advice that you might give to other people. We talked about the parents' advice. How about 18-year-old version of you? What advice would you give you?
Don't blow to your money. I blew so much money. If I would have known to save, and to be honest with you, I probably would have got my own body shop.
Yeah.
I just feel like I make all this money for these people, and I make good money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't, but I was a hustler from day one. So
Right.
for me, if I could have made my hustle into a legal hustle at a younger age, I
Yeah.
think I would have been well off today. So that probably would save my money and get a body shop.
How about husbands? Any advice for young husbands?
Yeah, try not to lie to your wife. We went through a little period where lies. It was never no cheating or anything like that. Just stupid lies and just being fucking really stupid. Be honest. Honesty it gets you so far, especially in a relationship. You gotta if you can't be honest with the woman that you're with, then you shouldn't be with her.
How about bosses? Any advice for them?
Oh,
You had some of those.
oh yeah, just don't be a dick. It's so hard because you got to find that fine line where you have to be stern with your employees. You got to almost treat them like kids, but at the same time, you got to show them a little bit of love too. And
Yeah.
not the same kind as a father would show. But I had this motto. I said, I don't need a pat on the back, but I don't need a kick in the balls neither.
Yeah.
You know, let me do my job. Don't be a dick. Pay your guys right so they don't have to look for a job. Because the
Yeah.
good ones, you let them go because you don't want to pay them because you're being greedy. But then the next fucking 20 guys you get suck.
Yeah.
And then what? Then you're stuck. It just sucks because they'll always point out that one bad thing you did and fuck the rest of the shit. It's like
Yeah.
you kill yourself all day, every day. You're with these people more than your family.
Right.
And, should be at least told you're doing a good job
Once in a while.
if you're doing a good job.
Right.
You know,
How about young workers? What do you got to say for them?
oh my God. I guess I should keep it a little tame here because it's hard. Man. You like these kids, they don't want to work.
Yeah.
They don't want to work, and it's a shame. And I have one word that I say in work, and everybody knows the word with me because it means so much to me, and it's accountability.
Right.
If you fuck up, just say, "Yo, I messed up." And because when you take accountability, you fix the problem. When you point your fingers at everybody else for the shit that you did, well, now guess what? You're not going to fix the problems because in your mind, you really believe, oh, well, it was his fault or her fault or this one. Get the fuck out. Just do your job. Try to do it the best you can. If you fuck up, try to do it better next time. That's all. That's all.
And
That's
just
all it
say it.
is.
Yeah. What would 18-year-old Frank think of 46-year-old Frank, 45-year-old
You're still alive.
Frank?
Yeah. No, I think I would be really proud of myself,
Yeah.
especially the family that I have and the support team that I have around me. Thank God. It's not big. It's not a big circle, but it's very strong.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't have to be big, man. Don't have to be big.
I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies all day long.
Yeah. Did 18-year-old Frank think that, seriously, did he think you would be alive right now?
No, no, not at all. Definitely thought I'd be dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the shit that I went through and the shit that happened to me when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
being shot and then shot at a month later, like that was the life that I was living. Even though it changed my life big time. I don't. It's hard for me to trust people,
Yeah.
but here we are. I'm alive. I'm happy. I got a great family.
And you have people you can trust, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. It's just harder. It's harder to get into your inner circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm so guarded. It's a shame, but
Not to get into particulars, but you had some people that were close to you really that were not just including your brother, but that were deceitful to you and used you.
yes, yes.
I mean, especially on the streets, right? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I can go on for days about that, but listen, it makes us who we are.
yeah,
You can't, you got to learn from everyone. There was a saying that DMX said, and it really stuck with me. Trust everyone. And I was like, wait, what the fuck's he saying right now? Trust everyone. He
yeah,
said, trust a snake to be a snake,
yeah,
a friend to be a friend,
yeah,
and a good person to be a good person, bad person. You just trust everyone.
yeah,
If you know they're a snake, just trust that that's what they're going to do.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, my way of saying it is stuff like, a scumbag is always going to be a scumbag. Zebra doesn't change his stripes.
No.
They are who they are. They're always going to be that way. If they do it to you one time, they may never do it to you again, but you know that they will.
Yeah, the option's always there.
Right. How about the best advice you can give somebody? How about that? Just in general.
Just try to be a good person. Deep in your heart, if you really try to just be the good person, the right person, do the right things, at least you're trying.
Yeah.
At least you're putting one step forward. You're trying to do the right things. You're trying to go down the right path, and you're trying to do right by everybody around you. And I think people eventually do see that.
Yeah.
I don't think as you're a kid, it's harder as a kid, or at least growing up where we grew up. You try to be a good person, you're going to get taken advantage of. But
Yeah.
as I'm getting older, I realize, if you just don't take shit from people, but don't give it neither. That's probably the best thing I could say. Just try to be good people.
How about the worst advice you got? I mean, you got a lot of bad advice, especially as a young
Yeah. Oh,
person.
yeah. Yeah. Stay away from fucked up people. Stay
Yeah.
away from drugs.
Yeah.
Stay away from hustling. Make your hustle the right way. Just be smart about things.
Yeah. There's plenty of things you can hustle legally.
Yeah, there's so much.
We didn't know that though. We didn't.
No,
Yeah.
no, it was too easy.
Yeah. Oh, what I tell my kids about drugs is, it would be great to be a drug dealer. It would be, but you have to deal with drug addicts.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah, and you got to deal with going to jail. And
Well, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but you can't trust the drug addicts,
no,
right?
that's the point.
Yeah, they're going to turn you in, buddy.
Yeah,
So, I mean, even if you can get away with the hustle, eventually it's going to catch up to you.
yeah,
I mean, only the few survive.
yeah.
All right. How about relationships? Let's talk about those. What's it like being your wife?
Wow, I'm a fucking pain in the ass. I am. But she knows I love her to death, and when I love somebody, it's one you're getting 100% from me. She knows that I'm a good man. I try to be a good husband, a good father. I try to provide, do all the fatherly stuff. But
Yeah.
she knows deep in my heart that I'm a good person. She puts up with some of my shit, but I put up with some of hers too.
Yeah.
That's what makes us a good team.
You both have your moments.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, yeah. But
Everybody does, right?
everybody, man, you're never gonna find the perfect person.
How about what would Chesko say about you? What's he think about you?
Well, at this stage of his life,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm that corny father, with the dad jokes and all that shit.
Yeah.
But he loves me. I know he loves me, and he knows I love him,
Yeah.
and he knows I would do anything for him. So I think I'm there for him as much as I can be, and I think he appreciates it. And he's starting to learn to talk to me a little bit about certain things that
Good.
I always told him I'm here for you. I'll always be here for you. I'm a father, provider, but I also want to be the guy who could tell you the things that you need to learn, not from your friends because they're trying to learn too.
Yeah.
You got to learn some shit from me.
Yeah. I mean, how does that make you feel to be able to give that advice?
I love it. I do because again, for me to struggle to get to where I'm at and for me to actually use the advice and give it to them, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah. How about what's it like being your friend? What would Ryan say about you?
That I'm hard to get in touch with, but Ryan is my brother. He's
Yeah.
kind of like how you and Steve are.
Yeah.
I consider him my brother. So the thing is, though, we're at two different stages of our life.
Right.
So, you know, when he wants to go out on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night,
Yeah.
I got the family. I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to work.
Yeah.
I can't go out and have a couple of drinks and be out till 10 o'clock at night, get home, go to sleep by what 11:30. Can't do it. And he accepts that. He's a bike rider. You know that he does like 100 miles a fucking day. He's unbelievable. I couldn't do 100 miles in a car a day. He does it on a bike, a pedal bike.
Yeah. Right.
But at the same time, he knows if he needed me at the drop of a dime, I'd be there for him. And
Yeah.
I love him.
What would your bosses say about
That I'm a pain in the fucking ass, but I'm a great worker. I'm loyal. I'll do anything I can to make sure the job gets done right. They love me. They really do. And it's crazy because as much of a pain in the ass I am, I'm only a pain in the ass when you push me,
you? Right.
and when I snap out.
Yeah.
But my boss Nicole, she moved up. So now she overlooks, I think it's like 8 or 10 shops. So she was my boss for a while. Great boss, wonderful person. She told me recently that you do snap out sometimes and you lose your shit, but at the same time what you're losing your shit about is it's the right thing. Like your point is right.
Right.
You're just maybe you go about it a little bit the
Yeah.
wrong way.
You got to deliver it better.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm the type, how we are. You
Yeah.
go from 0 to 1,000. It's like I'm a light switch, like how my mom was. I go from being super nice,
Yeah.
and then I flip the switch, and that's it.
Tell me about the most impactful person in your life. Who would that be?
Wow, I have so many of them. Oh my God, how do I narrow it down, Dave?
I don't know. Just how about
All right, my mom, obviously, from when I was younger,
so
just because
early
she was
life?
there, early
Right.
life.
Yeah.
Then I had my cousin Damien, my wife. My wife's been there. She's been with me since '95, so that's a long fucking time. I
Yeah.
got Ryan, of course, who's been my brother my whole life,
Yeah.
and I got Stevie Bananas. He's been like my older brother for a long time now, and I only say older because he mentally he's younger than me,
Yeah.
but age wise he's older than me. Because he's he's fun. You know
He's
him.
a big kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
big kid.
But he's a big kid. But he does sometimes have good advice.
Nah, he
Sometimes.
does. I was only kidding about that.
Sometimes.
He is like my older
Sometimes
brother.
he's a fucking banana hammock. But yeah,
Yeah,
we love
no,
you, Steve.
I love him to death.
But sometimes your shit is fucking weird. Um. But let's talk about cousin Damien. Talk about him a little bit.
Well, he's a great man. He taught me how to be a father kind of. In my later years, when I was already going through those stages, he's the one that kind of was there for me. So I didn't have the father figure when I was a kid, but as I got older, seeing him with his kids, and I was very close with him for a long period of time, and did really well for himself. And he's a little older now, and as we all are. And he's been kind of like laid back, and he doesn't talk to me as much as I thought we would.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't call him as much neither, but I always reach out to him and try to talk to him, and it's always the same answer, like, I'm okay, but I just I wish he would talk to me. I feel like he needs to talk to someone,
Yeah.
and I would feel like I'd be the one that he would talk to, but
Yeah. You missed that relationship.
I do, I
Yeah.
do, because again, he was like the father slash brother figure, especially when my mom died, he was there for me.
Yeah.
It was always there for me,
You know.
at a later stage in my life. He wasn't around when I was younger just because,
Yeah.
he had his own things going on.
Damon's out there. Reach the fuck out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
please. I'm always here, and I should reach out too. I should,
Yeah.
I just, I know it's an excuse, but being that I got the little kids right now, it's just so hard.
It's hard. Yeah. Hard. All right, let's talk about the most impactful event of your life. You have one of those?
Yeah, when I got shot, definitely when I got shot, I can't erase that from my memory at
Really?
all. Yeah, that was. I know it's morbid to talk about, but at the same time, it really shaped my life like big time. I don't. That's why I don't trust people as much as I do.
Yeah,
You know, That's why I'm very guarded. That's why I'm so snappy. Like we were talking about in work because
yeah,
I try to be nice, 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 and then it's like I get pushed to that point, and I felt like I should have got pushed to that point when I was a kid, and I didn't. And
yeah,
that just every New Year's Eve, I almost go into a shell.
yeah.
I try not to. I say I'm not going to, but I do.
You want to talk about it just a little bit to give people context?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, no names or nothing,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
well, I was at a party and I fucked up. I left the party. I should have stayed. I was with Ryan actually, and it was New Year's Eve party. I was 16, and I decided I was going to leave, go back to the corner, hang out around Marshall and Chunk. I got a 40,
yeah,
and I walked home. As I always did, I went to my mom. I said, "Happy New Year! I'm going to go out on the corner." It was like 5 of 12. I walk out to the corner, and I got shot, point blank range, basically. And you know, at the time, I felt like the person did it not intentionally, but they did it. I felt like it was more because they didn't like my brother, so they didn't like me, and that's where it all stems from.
yeah,
My me thinking that nobody liked me because I was Anthony's little brother,
yeah,
and yeah, so I was shot. I never gave up no names. I, so many times I had the detectives come to my house and come to the hospital I was in, and just
yeah,
I felt like that no snitching, like
yeah.
that would,
Make it worse for you.
well, not even worse. Like I just didn't want people to think that I was like a rat,
Yeah, right.
because back then it was like, oh, you're a rat, and
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know how it is growing
yeah,
up in the city.
yeah. It was a badge of honor, not.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and I felt like I had this badge of honor all this fucking time. I didn't say nothing to nobody. Then come to find out that people knew, and I didn't know that everybody kind of knew like what happened.
yeah. Everybody knew, and then you didn't get any support, right? I mean, it was like it didn't exist, right?
Yeah, like it just got swept under the rug.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the most impactful thing in my life, I think. 'Cause it,
yeah.
no, I was gonna
No,
say it kept me out of trouble, but in trouble at the same time. Because I was so guarded, and
yeah,
that's why, thank God that I never got locked up for anything.
yeah. Did you feel more invincible after that? Was that a thing that happened or for a
No,
while?
I was scared, man.
Were you?
I thought I was gonna die. Yeah, I was shot in the chest, man. I was leaking
Jesus
blood.
Christ.
So,
I didn't realize you were shot in the chest.
yeah, it's actually still in me, lodged in my collarbone.
Oh
And
boy.
because the doctors told me, it had nothing to do with being close to my heart. I thought I was going to die because it was close to my heart.
Yeah.
Here, there's the artery that goes up in your neck.
Yep.
If it was 2 centimeters closer to where the artery was, I would have bled out in 2 minutes.
Oh boy.
So,
Wow.
for me, being that that bolt was still in me, I was so scared that it was going to move. If I got hit or if anything happened, I got in a car accident, that it would move, it would puncture that artery, and I would die
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I did. I guess I did later on in my years felt a little invincible just because, I felt like, look, if I could take getting shot, then, you know,
Yeah. All right. How about any teacher or friend or boss that was really impactful? You have anybody like that?
I do. My boss, the first body shop that I worked at, he was really hard on me sometimes, but I was, like I said, I'm a pain in the ass, but I give 100% when I'm at work. I feel like I do. And he taught me pretty much everything I know. He gave me the chance to do things and learn. And I think that's why I'm such a good body man. When I say body man, there's a difference. I do mud work, which is I
Right.
create quarter panels that are demolished. I make them look brand new.
Yeah. You're not just putting a new quarter panel on and
No,
bolting it or whatever they do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do bolt some stuff on, but
Yeah.
I'm the mud man, they call me.
Right.
So,
You're the artist.
yeah. And that's how I feel. I feel like it's an art. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So John shot out, and yeah, he helped me a lot.
All right. Let's talk about some embarrassing stories. Any embarrassing drunk or high story?
Oh yeah. So the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I'm glad that I'm fitting the Eagles in here because everybody knows I'm a major Eagles fan, as Dave is and all.
Yeah,
We actually went to a Cincinnati game.
we did.
Eagles Cincinnati. They lost, but it was a good fucking
But
weekend.
those people were so nice to us. It was so bizarre.
Oh, it was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, even though we were breaking their balls, they were still nice.
yeah.
But anyway, so it was the day of the parade for the Eagles. We had our appointment to get our taxes done with our accountant, which was up Broad Street, ironically.
Right.
So he got in touch with us, asked us do we still want to keep our date and our time. The time was like 5 o'clock, and I wasn't planning on drinking because it was a Thursday, and I had work the next day, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to drink. Well, Cookie's Bar, Jamie's family owned that.
Yeah.
So we all met up there, and Steven pulls out a bottle of bourbon, and he's like, "You want some?" So I'm drinking it, and I'm drinking it straight out of the bottle. Well, started getting a little drunk. So then everybody started buying shots, and
Hmm.
every time we got around the shots, take a shot. And when it was my turn to buy the shots, I go in. I got, let's say I was getting 5 shots. I got an extra shot. I did a shot, walked out, did the shot with them. So literally, I am fucking whacked out of my mind. I wasn't even planning on drinking, but I'm fucking wasted. So we go to the accountant, and I don't even know how I'm awake. And I go from being out in the freezing cold to his office, which is probably 74 to 75 degrees. It felt like fucking 90. And I'm sitting there, and he's like, I guess you went to the parade. I was like, yeah. I don't even remember really talking to him. But as soon as we walked out of the tax office, Dave was walking by with a couple of his friends,
Yep.
and I just unloaded like a fucking volcano everywhere. Oh my god! I thought my fucking I threw up my esophagus. But anyway, Jamie was talking to Dave, and I'm fucking throwing up and this and that. But I felt a lot better. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty. Thank God I didn't do it inside the office.
Yeah.
But then when we were on our way home, this is part of the story too. Thank God I was that drunk because Jamie drove. She didn't drink,
Yeah.
and we had all the kids in the car. My daughter, she was fucking 4 or 5 months. Had Nico in the car, Chesko in the car, and we get rear-ended.
Oh boy, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so we get rear-ended on 42. So the guy goes to run. He fucking tried to leave. I said, chase that motherfucker. So she starts chasing him, and he pulls right over. It's BMW. I'll never forget it. And this big fucking dude gets out of the car, and I get out of the car. Now, if he decided to hit me, I would have just took a nap for about 3 hours. But I jumped out like a maniac, and I'm like, I had my fucking kids in the car, this, that, the other thing. Well, here somebody hit him, and he hit us, and the person that hit him tried to run.
Oh,
So he tried to run, but then he realized we were chasing him, so he pulled right over.
okay.
Really nice guy. I felt bad because I went out and I was fucking like a maniac,
Yeah.
all whiskeyed up. That was the end of the fucking night, pretty much. I went home and fucking pretty much died. Me and Aunt Jamie got in a big argument over some stupid shit. I was all fucked up. I went to sleep and that was it. I went to work the next day. I don't know how to fucking made it, but I did go.
How about well, that was a puke story. You got any fart or pee stories?
Oh my god.
Because I like piss myself like on a regular basis.
Yeah, I know. I've heard quite a few stories.
Yeah.
Stories. Farts. I fart all the time. Everybody just knows that I'm a silent but deadly farter. I roll up the windows every time. I lock the windows. So if that counts, everybody knows. If Daddy's rolling up the windows, hold your breath.
Is that from your relationship with Steve? Because that motherfucker
Oh,
farts.
he's fucking yeah.
He's disgusting.
But guess what?
He's
He complains about me.
oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of his charm.
Oh yeah. But he made me comfortable with like his family, doing it around his family, like his mom and the grandparents. So he kind of made me feel comfortable around the family doing it. Now
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
we're like
That's just what you do.
yeah.
You're an assassin though.
Oh yeah, an assassin. Silent but deadly most of the time. I'll walk by, I'll grab my son's head, I'll fart on him. He gets so fucking mad. But it's an ongoing joke.
How about any shit stories?
Oh my God, quite a few times.
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
Here we go.
Yeah, and it's funny because the worst one, the most embarrassing one, was me and Jamie were in Miami. We were younger, and I don't know what the fuck I ate the night before, but I had the bubble guts.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're on this fucking beautiful beach, white sands, and beautiful blue water. There's fucking beautiful women walking around bikinis and all kinds of people, kids. And I tried to fart. When I farted, a lot of fucking shit came out. Oh my! And I'm telling you, it. I had a bathing suit on,
Right.
so it's running down my leg. And dude, when I tell you, she just looked at me and started laughing. So now I'm trying to run to the fucking wood
Yeah.
so nobody sees me. But my God, dude, if nobody fucking see me, that means I was on a blind beach because I had fucking brown shit running down my leg. And I went in the ocean for about, I don't know, I probably didn't come out for the rest of the day. And she came out, she was breaking my balls. She was like, well, you what the it was fucked up, dude.
Oh,
Oh, man.
oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, oh, it was nasty.
Oh God. All right.
But at least I had a beach and water near me where I can get rinse the
Yeah,
fuck
no,
off,
no,
right?
that was nice. You didn't have to sit in it for 45
No,
minutes.
nope, nope, nope.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess you had you did you have any time where you had to sit in it?
Ah, yeah, it was recent too. It was recent too. It was after I heard your fucking stories too. And it was like, I wasn't planning on telling you this one, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so my stomach was fucked up, man. I shit like 3 fucking times that day. So I
Yeah.
went to lunch and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go get fucking Chipotle.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, I'm eating the Chipotle. And I don't think Chipotle had anything to do with it, but it's just funny that I was eating Chipotle and
Yeah.
I went to fart and yeah, some shit came out and I had a fucking handful of napkins I stuck down in my ass as fast as you could blink to try to catch the shit. Dude,
Oh,
I got most of it
oh.
on the napkin. I got the fucking work. I did what you did. I threw out the fucking underwear and
Yeah.
the whole thing.
So my podcast has helped people with navigating shitting themselves.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I feel like I made the world better.
There you go. Guess what? It's bringing light to everything, man.
Uh,
Everybody has a shit story,
everybody
right?
has a shit story. How about caught having sex or catch anybody having sex?
You know what's funny? Well, I think I was caught by my mom quite a few times,
Yeah,
but she always just like
let it go.
she kind of like yeah, like out of nowhere, like I'm banging a chick on my couch this one time. This was before you, James, so don't get offended. She decided she had to go to the bathroom at like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning. So she didn't even know I was in the house at first. And this girl's like, you know, on top of me doing her thing. And I'll tell you, it ruined the fucking mood
I
real
bet it
fast.
did.
Yeah, she's trying to talk to me. And I'm like, Mom, just go to please go to bed.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm like literally.
yeah. Bye bye,
So she did.
bye bye, birdie.
And then a couple other times we're up in the bedroom and she always had to go to the bathroom, it seemed like, when I was fucking getting it on, you know?
Yeah,
And one other time, this girl, I was trying to get laid, and me and my brother, one of the, I guess, the good stories, we had 2 girls, and he went right in the back room. They were already fucking, and next thing you know, I'm like, my mom, she knew I always slept with the dog. Dog always slept with me, so I went in her room. I said, Mom, you can have the dog tonight. Red flag.
yeah, yeah,
Or me and the girl's getting undressed. Next thing you know, she's banging on the door. I'm like, Mom, I'm not dressed. I'll throw some clothes on. And she knew.
yeah,
So I opened the door, and when I opened the door, the girl standing behind the door. My mom she knew. She fucking pulled the door shut. She smacked me. Didn't hurt, but man, I felt like I
yeah,
really disappointed her. I let her down.
yeah,
Well, as fast as that happened, she kicks in the back door with my brother.
yeah,
He was already going to town. It was like, yeah, the girl ran out, and that was pretty much like the last time I fucking think we talked.
yeah. Well, to the girl. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
she was embarrassed.
All right. Here's my 20 questions. You ready for them?
Let's go.
What makes you angry?
Driving, I think. Driving is fucking very angry. Angry, angry, angry Frank. Because people, I try to be the most considerate person when I'm driving. If I see somebody trying to turn out, I give them the high beams, let them go. But nobody reciprocates that.
Yeah,
And the fucking zipper merge. If people would just do the zipper merge. I call it the zipper merge. 1-1, 1-1.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know, why do you gotta be a dick? Just
yeah,
let somebody in. Like, what the fuck? Just be considerate. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't get it. And the people that drive fucking slow in the left hand lane, and I don't ride nobody's bumper at first. And
Right.
then when you see me like kind of close to you, and I'm close enough to where you're like, all right, well, he wants to go faster, and I give you a couple minutes, then I get a little closer and a little closer, and it's like now you're just being a dick.
Right.
And then I go to get over, and it's like, I go to pass him, but then they get over as soon as I pass him. It's like, come on, man,
Yeah.
like
Right.
just
Yeah. All of a sudden.
there's 3 lanes.
Right. And what makes you happy?
Seeing my kids happy, seeing my wife happy. That's all I could ask for, man.
Yeah. What are you most proud of?
Where I'm at in my life, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know it's repetitive, but yeah,
No. So,
where I'm at in my life. I have 3 amazing kids, a beautiful wife, mom-in-law. Debbie.
yeah.
She's loving, little crazy sometimes, but we all are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's loving. My kids love her.
Yeah.
They love her grandma.
Yeah.
Uh, and I got a great supporting cast around me. Like I said, it's not very big, but it's there.
Yeah. How about one thing that you would want to change about your life? Anything? One thing?
Wise up earlier, going back to it, just having my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have succeeded. I do.
Yeah. You're a hustler.
Yeah, I think I would have. I had a following for a long time. You were one of them.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would have had a really big following if it was my own shop. And
How about one thing you want to change about the world?
drugs, illegal drugs, just do away with them.
Talk to me about that. What do you mean?
It creates wars, creates
Oh, just totally eradicate, just get
yeah.
rid of them.
If drugs could just evaporate and never, it ruins families. It just doesn't ruin that person's life who you
Yeah.
see standing on the corner that's fucked up. Just remember those people you see standing on the corner. They were babies at one time. Someone loved them. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody, but most of the people that you see, they were loved and they were hugged and they were called my little buddy and my baby. It ruins everybody's lives, especially when somebody dies of an overdose.
Yeah.
You fuck up. It's not just you that's dying. It's
Parts of
hearts of
others. Yeah.
people. Yeah,
Yeah. It's awful.
it's hard. And then it creates wars. It creates a fucked up government.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people out there that get paid off and all. We're not going to go down the fucking conspiracy theories and all that shit. But if I could do away with one thing, just change one thing, it would be get rid of drugs. I think it would alleviate a lot of issues with this world.
Yeah. What is most important to you?
Family. Again, I'm repeating myself, but it's family, man. Like that's the only thing that really matters to me.
What's most unreasonable about you?
Once I believe in something in my fucking mind, I will argue and fight until bitter end, and I won't stop. And sometimes it's wrong to even talk about. Like some things just could be let go. Like
Yeah.
so, I think I need to work on that a little bit.
How about an everyday struggle?
Trying to provide for my family. The way I get paid is I get paid. I don't get paid hourly.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds stupid because it's money, but hey, if you don't make it, there's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get paid very well for what I do. But if there's no work, I don't get paid.
Right.
So my everyday struggle is making sure that I'm able to provide for my family, and it's hard sometimes, but it always works out in the end, as my mom would always say.
Yeah. Yeah. Just worry that you
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
that the next job's not coming.
yeah.
Yeah. What's your best quality?
Loyalty. I will be loyal to you. If I have love for someone, I will be loyal to you until the day I die.
Your worst quality?
Not being loyal.
What you mean once
Yeah, once
the
that
switch
bird.
is off?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Now
That's
you
it.
mean nothing.
I absolutely have no love for someone after the switch is gone. Switch is off, it's gone. That's it.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't know. I was raised to be a strong and loyal person, but at the same time, don't fuck with me.
Right. How about your dumbest mistake?
Probably selling drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because if I would have had that natural hustle legally, I would have been so much further right now.
Yeah. How about your best mistake? The thing that you thought was bad but turned out to be great.
Probably getting tied down at such a young age. I love you, Jane, but we've talked about this many times. We were really young.
Yeah.
So we didn't, I'm going to explain this just because I don't want people to misconstrue exactly what I'm saying. So I was 18, she was 16. So we never really did anything without each other, never experienced anything other than her and I. So, to be able to say I went to Las Vegas with my friends when I was younger or went to Cancun, I don't have those experiences, and neither does she. And
Right.
it's unfair to say that it's just me, but I feel bad for her too because it's always just been her and I. But
Yeah.
now that we're older and we do have each other, and I look back and it's like I don't, I wouldn't want it any other way, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What did you really miss?
Yeah, like I did everything with her.
Yeah. What would you teach a parrot to say if you had a parrot?
Fuck you.
Just it fuck you a lot.
Yeah.
I like it.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
What type of music do you hate?
I love almost everything. It's more like classical music I don't really listen to. And I'm not saying I would hate it,
Yeah.
but I'm not a classical person. I've learned to actually love country. I always hated country. And
Yeah.
this was it within the last 2 years.
Really? Like what? Who's your favorite country band right now, or person?
Aaron Lewis, I really like. I like Aaron Lewis. Uh, he was Stained,
Okay.
the band Stained,
Yeah.
and now he sings country music. I like Walker Hayes. He's like more of a pop country. I
Yeah.
don't know a lot about. I like the old classic country.
Yeah. Me too. I like some of that stuff.
Yeah,
What's the quality that most annoys you about other people?
lying, just fucking lying. Like I really don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like why lie? Like the stupid shit that most people don't even care about. Why lie about it? It's fucking. Just be truthful, man. You know what? If everybody was truthful, it would be so much easier. It might be hard at first, but
Yeah.
everybody would learn. You know what? It's better to just be fucking honest, man.
Yeah. I don't want to get on political, but that I mean we're having a problem with that right in society right now. Where you
Yeah,
can't actually tell the truth
yeah. It's hard. It's
because
hard.
people cancel you and the truth, despite whether it's true or not.
Yeah,
You have to worry about everybody's emotions.
sure. And my thing is, and I try to be that person that can talk politics,
Yeah.
and you could have the total opposite view, but we could talk about it
Right.
and still walk away friendly
Yeah.
and calm. And that's the way it should be because everybody has their own points of view.
Yeah.
It's the famous six on the ground. And I'm going to explain this to you. You probably know it. If you don't, I'm going to explain.
Yeah.
So I draw a six on the ground. To me, it's a six.
Yeah.
You're standing on the other side. What is it? It's a
nine.
fucking nine.
Right. Yeah.
So it's everybody's perception. It's what you want to believe and what you want to think. And if you don't respect how I feel,
Yeah.
that's just not good, man. Like everybody's disrespected. You know what? Tell me the fucking truth. If I don't like it, fuck me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I'll get over
Yeah.
it. Yeah. If not, then fuck me. Yeah. But yeah, the honesty, I hear you.
I've heard a saying from Debbie actually. She said you shouldn't talk politics and religion.
Yeah.
And I think that whole saying is that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because we can't talk about it because
Yeah.
everybody's so programmed to get offended. You know what? Nah, man, talk about it. Learn to listen to people and learn to express yourself, but you gotta learn to listen too and have respect for the other person's view. Listen, if I feel like the world's round and you feel it's flat, who gives a fuck? It's what you believe. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like we're all humans here. We're all gonna die the same way. We're all born the same way.
And on the other end, if you want things to change, you're not going to change things by canceling people or telling them, trying to embarrass them because they have an opinion. You're going to have to change their mind. You're not going to do that by being, shutting them down. That's just not the way it works.
No, not at all. That's why I got on Facebook, man.
Yeah, me too.
I completely shut it down. It's over 2 years now. Like I lost someone. I don't want to name no names because I loved them to death.
Yeah.
But because I had a different view on certain things, they kind of I guess they deleted me from Facebook like off of their page.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me.
Which I don't care, but this one person means so much to me, and it actually hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't have many feelings. I don't.
Right.
But certain people, if that happens to me, it hurts.
Right.
And I found out the hard way because I stopped seeing their posts and stuff, and I went and checked, and I was like, wow, they really. And listen, the conversation we're having got a little fucked up, but I felt that's not what Facebook should have been about. And
Yeah.
I for me, that person's more important than Facebook.
Yeah.
You understand? And I love her so much, and she probably knows who it is, and I love her and always will.
Yeah.
She's like a daughter to me.
And yeah, those relationships are way more important.
Yeah, so fuck that. If it means me getting rid of my Facebook, I'm done. I've been done.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked or thought about it. It's
Yeah.
over 2 years.
So yeah, I mean, I still have it, but I don't do that. I was
Yeah,
way into the political stuff, and
we all were for a while, man.
yeah, I mean, I went ape shit too,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And I'm a keyboard warrior.
yeah.
I listen. I almost got in a fight with a guy you were working with at one point.
I remember.
Remember? I'm like, where's he fucking? He's like,
Yeah,
where does he live? We're like, what the?
just for the record, dude was a fucking kook.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. But still, I mean, you can't go down over a fucking internet post, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's just that emotion. It's toxic. It's just toxic. And you get nowhere. You're not solving the world's problems. It's who can one up each other,
yeah.
who could be more outlandish with their response. And you just fight over nothing. And then if you would sit in a room together and talk it out,
It will be
you,
a totally different
it would
discussion.
it's a totally different discussion all the time. I've said this a million times about politics is that most 95% of us, or say let's say 90% of us, are like a degree or two apart. It's that 10% on each side that's screaming loud, and everybody thinks that they're the ones that's the majority opinion, and it's not.
Yeah,
When you get together, you realize, well, we think about things a little differently, but it's not that much. We think about how to get there differently, but we still know the same problems and have the same problems, want the same things, right?
shit ourselves the same
We
way.
shit ourselves the same way, buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, number 16. If you were arrested today, what would your wife and your friends think you got arrested for?
Assault,
Yeah.
100%. And I'm not a violent person, but again, when that switch goes on, man, I'm not going to back down from anything or anybody. And I'm not a tough guy. I'm not saying I'm a fucking road
Yeah.
warrior, but
Yeah.
I won't. You'll know you're in a fight with me. You might fuck me up, but guess what? I'm not going to back down. And that I got that through my older age. Like
Yeah. All right. If you could be the best at one thing in the world, what would you want to be the best at?
I'd want to be the best 45-year-old I could be. I'm talking about health wise, just as a person, as a human being. Because what else matters at this point?
How about what is your most fun but most dangerous character trait?
I don't think I'm dangerous in this part of my life. I don't
Yeah.
know.
How about my last two questions?
Okay.
Assuming God exists, you get to the pearly gates. What do you want God to say to you?
You're lucky I'm letting you in. I thought you were going to be here sooner. I don't know.
Just as long as He lets you in.
You know what? As long as he lets me in and see all my loved ones, the
Yeah.
ones that passed already,
Yeah.
and hopefully says, "Hey, your brother is finally doing good up here."
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
All right. What do you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done?
That I was a good friend, good father, good worker. That I was loyal, respectful, just again a good person.
Yeah.
As you get older, man, it's the smaller things in life that really mean a lot to you.
Yeah.
I hope people understood me. I'm a hard person to understand because I do fly off the handle sometimes, but it's all out of love. You know,
Yeah.
I love the people that I love. Some people. I know that sounds like cliche, but some people love people, but disrespect them and treat them like pieces of shit.
Right.
And I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
But I give respect, and I'm the first one. I want people to understand. I'm the first. I'll give the respect first. I don't care about that, but I do expect it in return.
Right.
And I just want people to feel like what he was real. Like he was a great guy, but don't fucking piss him off.
Yeah.
You know. But I love the people I love.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me, and I guess that's it, man.
Yeah. You got anything else for me, buddy?
I'd like to tell a story about my mom.
Yeah. Please do. That's
Yeah. She came from Italy when she was 11.
Yeah.
She was one of 21.
Wow.
So not from the same woman.
Right.
So my grandfather was born in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
So he was 72 when he died. She was 13 when he died.
Okay.
So, it was a long journey for him to get to America. She comes to America. She learns how to speak English from watching TV. She was picked on. They were considered the scumbags. The people come over from Italy and Ireland, and
Yeah.
just like almost every other
Ethnicity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she was forced into a marriage at 16 years old. Didn't love the guy, didn't date the guy, but that was the old school way of doing things.
Right.
And when she turned 18, she divorced him.
And was that Anthony's father?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
She had a wild ride, my mom. It was a shame.
Yeah.
But so she divorced him, and this is when she went to meet her Anthony's father.
Okay.
So she was the black sheep of the family at that point because
Nobody divorced now.
nobody divorced. You're not. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But she was forced into a marriage at 16 years old. Think about that.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
Forced into a marriage. So she went down to Tennessee. She met my brother's dad, and he was cheating on her, and then he beat her up. So she has this baby. He beats her up. So she said when he went to sleep that night, she had a decision to make. She said she was going to kill him. She looked at this lamp and she was going to choke him to death with this wire on this lamp, or she was going to take her baby and just leave. So obviously she took Anthony and she left.
Yeah.
Well, when she came back to Philly, she went to my grandmom, who didn't speak a word of English, by the way, except for respect. You'll respect him and he'll respect you. But so she went to her and she said, Mom, I have this baby. I need a place to stay. She tells her to take that bastard child and don't come to my house again. Now, that's pretty fucked up, dude. It's pretty fucked up,
Fucked up.
So she did. She went, she got a little apartment, and she struggled her whole life.
Yeah.
And she met my dad, and they were fucking nuts at that time. They were selling drugs and doing stupid shit. It was back in the hippie days.
Right.
And then, that's when they broke up, and she became a totally different person when she got us back from my dad.
Yeah.
And she just became this loving person. And my brother knows the other side of my mom. And, I just wanted to put it out there. We're all fucking nuts when we're younger.
Yeah.
But people can change if they really want to.
Yeah.
I know you said something about a tiger don't change his stride.
Oh, right.
And I do believe that. But
Yeah.
if you have a moment where it's a moment of clarity.
Yeah.
And you wake up and you say, you know what? I think it takes family, like kids, basically, for you to say, you know what I'm doing is wrong.
Right.
And that's it. I don't remember the old her.
No, I never knew that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when we got back from Wisconsin, again, she just totally changed. She became that hardworking mother. She was a great person, and she's severely missed. I wish she could have been there for my wedding. I wish but you could wish she could be there for everything. My kids and their kids. Eventually it stops, and you got to accept it. But man, when she died, I couldn't accept it. I was fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. But if she loves you, she loves you.
And that's how I feel like that's how I want to be. And that's the person I think I grew into be.
Yeah.
And thanks to her, know.
Well, let's leave it there. Let's
All right.
We don't have a glass right now, but we'll go get a glass and we'll raise it to Millie.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. I love you.
I love you too, man.
Till next time, I'm out.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.